lovelies. Just a quick one today because I had to do accounts today, the quarterly ones. So if I owe you money, you might be getting some through your email or your PayPal anytime soon. So I'm going to use the limited time and energy that I have left to talk about a gift that Mrs. Grimm gave me yesterday. It's not a Halloween gift, it's a birthday gift. My birthday isn't till December, but we're both terrible at waiting to give people gifts for the right time, and terrible at hiding things, and also tend to forget where we've hidden things. So we tend to just give each other presents when we get them, rather than anything else. It's a little bit disappointing on the day itself, but it's good in other ways. Anyway, so I got a special edition of Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere. There we are, that's the right round. From the Folio Society. What the Folio Society is a company that produces really over-the-top, high-quality versions of popular and beloved books. So there's a whole bunch of them. They do collected editions of things. There's like a collected Hitchhiker's Guide in their overproduced format. Classics, not just the kind of things that you would necessarily expect, though. They do all sorts of other things as well. There's collected Earthsea edition there. James Bond collection, which is hideously expensive, which is a shame. Otherwise, I'd buy that. Now, these are very, very pricey books, but the quality is amazing. And whoops, good thing that was an empty can. And it kind of ties into what I was saying recently about books themselves. You know, the physical object of the book becoming the prestige item, the special edition, and so on. Right? This is that taken to an extreme, I think, with so much reading being done on Kindle, on people's phones even, and so on, and that being so much cheaper and easier to distribute, and so on. The idea of a special edition somehow becomes a lot more appealing, and what we consider to be standard books now will probably become that kind of prestige item eventually over time. I don't think we're quite there yet, but with games you see a lot of things published, especially short projects, published just as PDF, never appearing in hard copy. You know, guilty of that myself on a few things. And the hard copy fetish is still there, but you know, I just did accounts, and except when someone has a splurge on a lot of stuff that's published in the same line, PDF and ebook sales are definitely outstripping it, and a large part of that is due to the production cost of such things. So producing prestige book items, and you know, when I'm reviewing books, I often talk about the physical quality and everything, and whether they've got a little ribbon and all that stuff. That's at a premium. Now, I love Neverwhere as a book. I have very fond memories of watching the series, reading the book. I made an RPG, you'll be unsurprised to learn, based on Neverwhere, using my description system, which synchronicity means that I'm using currently in a new iteration for a side project. So Neverwhere means a lot to me. Oh, wrong way up. There we go. For some reason, that always makes me think it's the back cover. And it doesn't help that they've designed it to show, the underworld. Yeah, so this book has a lot of meaning for me. I was in one of the best sort of places in my life, I think, in the 90s, before the health and mental health issues really began to kick in, and Neverwhere was tremendously affecting, and therefore captures a lot of that and recalls a lot of that feeling for me. You know, our little group of weirdos being shouted at in the street by people, or pointedly ignored, you know, living in our own little subculture and everything, felt very London below. And when I had travelled to London, which I was doing a lot in the 90s as well, you know, I did often think, look at the names of the underground stations and think, well, you know, what if you took that literally? You know, what if Barnet Fair was like a celebration of hairstyling, because Barnet is rhyming slang for hair, because Barnet Fair, hair. So yeah, high Barnet, a really tall haircut. You know, all of that sort of thing. So it spoke to me on many different levels at the time. Now, as far as the book goes, a cloth cover, very high paperweight, but it doesn't feel that heavy, and it's quite silky to the touch, and the ink is properly bound. Lots of white space, of course, which you might criticise in the TTRPG book, but not here. And it has all these little, well, it has big full page art here and there, and represents yet another imagining of Neverwhere. There's been several, and all these little chapter headings have their own little pieces of art, which is very nice. It's all very old-fashioned, book as prestige item, very much. And I understand it was very expensive, but I promised not to look at the price. But if you have a book that really means a hell of a lot to you, I think it's probably worth you investing in something that really represents the amount of value that you place on that book. For you, it might be a particular classic, or I don't know, the Conan stories, or something like that. And occasionally you get special editions and so on, or collected editions with faux leather covers with gold inlay. But the effort that has gone into the production of this book passes through the whole book, from the colour plates and the little illustrations to the quality of the paper. It's a reasonably sized font that you can actually read, which of course stretches the content out a bit, but still. Yeah, I'm really touched, and I really love it. And it does also include the additional story about the Marquis de Carabas, one of the best characters in it, and how he got his coat back. So you do get a little bit extra for your money. But yeah, books as prestige items. It's kind of taking us back to the early days of the printing press and everything else, isn't it? It's interesting. History moves in cycles, but what you gonna do? Zang. I have a fairly mellow Discord if you want to join us there for a bit of conversation and debate. We have people from all over, really, and for the most part, it's fairly good-natured and peaceful. As long as you come in that kind of spirit, you'll be fine.